Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview, Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, great to be with you, coming to you live from Thailand. Bright blue sunny skies and white sandy beaches and very warm, I would say. Traders, got a lot to talk about today, so we're not going to waste any time. It's pretty interesting charts we have. We have 6 currency pairs that we're going to look at today. Got some news data coming out in Asia. We'll talk about that in just a moment. However, first, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday. I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series every single trading day before the London Open. Yes, traders, I do record this during the Asia session. So these charts that you're going to see now are before the data comes out in Asia. The data has not come out yet in Asia, so these charts are before the data. So when you see this, you're probably going to see it after the data comes out. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006. 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday. Well, traders, I'm in my 9th year here in Thailand and love living in Asia. And most of all, it's the time zone. It's just like a regular work day. Up early in the morning, go to bed late at night, and trade. The time zone is really nice. I get to trade all 3 trading sessions, all in one day. So I do Asia, London, and I do about the first 2 hours of New York. So it's quite a full day. No, I don't sit in front of my computer all those hours, thanks to modern technology, where everything is on my phone. So traders, how do I trade? Well, I look at fundamentals. Fundamentals are a very important part of trading today. And the sentiment of the market is different than it was, say, 3-4 years ago, where you really didn't have to listen to fundamentals, and it was sort of like a second-hand item. Well, now today, you have to listen to fundamentals. It's very important that you understand fundamentals. You know when data is coming out. You know when news is coming out. It's just very, very important that you understand fundamentals. And I pay for newsfeed that gives me fundamentals 24 hours a day. So I know what's going on around the world. Remember, we're macro traders. We trade the globe. Right, but I'm a technician. I love charts. I love reading charts, doing analysis on charts, price action, price structure, price failure, support, resistance. I do use Fibonacci a lot, and I use 3 moving averages on my charts. So you take your fundamentals and you take your technical, and you come up with an analysis, and then you come up with a trade plan, and then you put that trade plan together, and that's your trade plan for the day. And price is either going to come to your entry or it's not going to come to your entry. If not, you just don't take the trade, right? What's the key to trading? What is the biggest, most important part about trading? Yes, money management, capital preservation. Be able to trade tomorrow, right? And the only way you're going to be able to trade tomorrow is having capital in your account. So you have to have good money management skills when you're trading. I don't care what instrument you're trading, whether you're trading options or stocks or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Pork belly pigs, you still need to have a very good grasp on your money management skills. All right, that's enough about me. Let's talk about our risk disclaimer. Keep the legal people happy. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex market. Most importantly, traders, do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's get over to news and commentary. Let's take a look at how the markets closed yesterday. Well, the Dow 30 is up 0.66%. The S&P 500 is up 0.78%. And the NASDAQ also closed up 0.88%, with the small cap 2000 up 0.70%. Pretty crazy day in the U.S. session, I have to tell you that. So let's take a look at what's going on in the Eurozone. The DAX closed positive 0.84% as the FTSE 100 out of London closed negative 1.27%, with the CAC 40 out of Paris positive 0.31%, and the Eurostock 50 positive 0.07%. Let's take a look at Asia. Some of the Asia countries aren't open yet, but let's take a look at what's going on. We have Japan's on a holiday today, so there's no trading in Japan. However, they did close yesterday negative 3.11%. However, the S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is currently trading, and they're up 0.53%. And the China 850 closed yesterday negative 0.26%. They don't open for about another 45 minutes. The Hang Seng also is not open. However, they did close negative 1.50% yesterday. And the Kospi, which is currently trading at a Seoul, is up 0.41%. Traders, let's take a look at our economic calendar today. Not a lot going on in the London and the U.S. session. However, most of the big stuff is happening in Asia, as we have the Aussie has a lot of data coming out today with private house approvals, building approvals, and of course the big one is the interest rate decision and the RBA statement. We're not expecting any changes there, but the statement is going to be really very important, and that will be a market mover. However, in London, in the euro, we have PPI month on month. And then we have the Great British Pound as manufacturing PMI for April, and that is a high-impact news event. As we move through the rest of the day, it's very quiet. In the U.S. session, we only have speakers. We don't have any data that's going to shake the charts. However, we have FOMC member Mester speaks. And then in Canada, we have Bank of Canada Politz speaking today. In the U.S. session. So keep an eye on that. So the bulk of our data, really the big stuff, is in Asia today, and that is with the Aussie. Also in China, we have the Gaxin manufacturing PMI. That is a high impact news event. That's going to be pretty interesting, as that's 15 minutes after the Aussie data comes out. And you know, China and Australia import and export very closely together. So this is going to be really very interesting. Commentary for today is, you know, the markets and the sentiment of the market is very challenging. This is not easy trading. This definitely is, I would say, a lot of work. As we go through the trading day, remember, you know, we're looking at a dollar below 93, and we're looking at gold just at close to $1,300 an ounce. Oil is up. And, you know, everything is like sort of like backwards. And some of these charts, you know, we take, you know, for an example, is the New Zealand dollar. If this takes out a high that I'm going to show you on the chart, I mean, we have a change of trend here. If you look at a daily chart, this takes out this high. We definitely have a bullish pair, and it's not because of the Kiwi, right? It's because of the dollar, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So I think it's going to be an exciting trading day. I think it's going to be an exciting trading week. Remember, this week is NFP Friday, so we have non-farm payrolls on Friday. So, you know, quite a busy week and going into Friday, and a lot of expectations on what the Fed is going to do. So let's get moving and let's take a look at the charts. This is the euro dollar. You know, I just don't understand why this euro is so strong. You know, it just really is unbelievable. There's no good data that's come out of the euro. Yeah, I mean, the numbers are horrible. However, due that the dollar is so weak, of course, now the euro is stronger. But, you know, the euro has been in an uptrend. You know, we're at what is that? 1535. So, you know, a week ago we were you know 12. 1.12, right? And now we're up at 1.15. So this euro is really taking a move to the upside. I don't think there's a change of trend here. I think this is going to come back to its reality and come back to the downside. And I think that, you know, the dollar will become strong at some point, right? The markets move up, the markets move down. The question for us is, how are we going to enter these trades and what are we going to do? Well, I'm not going to step in front of a freight train and stand there and then 2 seconds later jump out of the way, right? So, well, it's the same thing with this euro dollar. So this is a counter trend trade. As my bias is to sell the euro dollar, the trade today is a buy. We have significant support. You can see the 55 EMA, the blue line, and then you can see the daily pivot point. However, if you look at price action from yesterday, it's pretty weak, isn't it? However, I expect a bounce there. So if we get a bounce there, I'm looking for this to go up to the 161.8 Fibonacci level at 1.1700. Now that's a lot of pips, folks. And so we're looking to get in at 1.1475 and we're looking to get out at 1.1686. Is that going to happen today? Probably not. We might make it a quarter of the way or half of the way, but that's my goal is for this to head to the upside. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the pound dollar. Here's another pair that's, a counter trend trade. Now, the pound has been very strong lately, of course, the dollar being weak. This is a counter trend trade. I'm looking to buy this. I'm looking to buy this at this trend line that I put on here, and it's a significant trend line. It's a 4-touch trend line, so it definitely has some power here. However, I don't know if price is going to come down there. Right now, price is in between the trend line and our resistance line at 46.93. So this is an ugly looking chart. I don't like the way this looks, and I'd rather sell the pound dollar than buy it. However, the way this looks to me like the daily pivot and the 55 EMA might hold this at 1.4642, and we would look to buy this, and we'll get out at 1.4693. So, we're looking like a 50 pip trade here. However, you just got to be really careful. Remember, we have data coming out on the Great British Pound in the London session, 90 minutes after the London session begins. So we'll have to keep a really close eye on that and watch how that works out. Again, this is a counter trend trade. We have a lot of counter trend trades, as we move along. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar, which is going to be very interesting in a couple of hours as we have all this data coming out. So you're probably wondering why I have those two green lines on my charts here. And we're at resistance now, right? So we want this, basically either you're going to sell it back to the daily pivot, or you're going to wait for it to get back to the daily pivot, the 200 exponential moving average, and buy it. You can do either one. But this is sideways now, and it's really nasty price action. So you were saying, well, why do I have those two green lines on the blue candle and the red candle? Well, that's a candlestick formation, my friends. And I just wanted you to see that that's an evening star. And that evening star is a reversal candlestick pattern. So we would expect this to come down, right? We have a decision candle, then we have 1, 2, 3, 5 indecision candles, and then we have a decision candle again. So that is an evening star on this 30-minute chart. And like I said, that's a reversal. We would expect the price to come down with that candlestick pattern. So, the Aussie's strong. The Aussie's been strong, and I declared it, change of trend on this pair like over a month ago, and it's bullish. So this is going to be an interesting day today with the Aussie. I guarantee you, after the next 3 hours, this will not look like this, and we're going to see quite a bit of price action. Traders, don't get in front of the freight train. Let the news data come out and wait about 40 minutes, 30 minutes, and then make your entry. Unless you're experienced in trading the data release, don't do it if you're not experienced in doing it on a demo account, at least for 3 months, trading data release numbers. It's not easy, my friends, and you really have to do a lot of homework to trade fundamentals when the numbers come out. Okay, so be very careful if you're looking at trading the Aussie dollar before the data release or at the data release. I always wait 30 to 40 minutes after, and then I enter my trade. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. I'm really liking this pair. This is probably the pick of the day right here on this Euro Aussie. I spoke the other day that I was really expecting this to go up and eventually it's going to come back down. Well, there's a couple of things I like. One is it's very hard to see on the chart, but there's a 10 moving average, and that is right above the last candle. And then we have the 55 exponential moving average, and then we have the 200. Well, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing the 55 curve to the downside, and the 200 is just starting to bend a little bit and possibly come to the downside. So my moving averages are telling me, listen, this pair might be on its way to the downside, which it should be, because if you look at a daily chart, the Euro Aussie is bearish, right? It's bearish. Well, why? Because the Aussie is stronger than the Euro. Why are we seeing a lot of sideways price action is because right now the Euro is strong and the Aussie is strong. So it's like two magnets. And we have, both these pairs fighting each other. And that's why we have sideways price action. But if I was going to take a trade today, I would sell this at 1.5026. And I would take profit at the 200 exponential moving average. And it's also the S2 reversal pivot point at 1.4921 is where I would take my profits at. or at least scale out. I'm a scaler. I like to scale out of my positions. I go into my positions full throttle, and then as profits come, I just take some off the table. And that's how I would work this out. So we'll see. And again, with this Aussie data coming out in 32 minutes, it's a good chance that this chart won't look the same because we're going to see some movement from that data release. Folks, let's take a look at the Euro Yen. Folks, the Euro Yen is bearish. I put this big green trend line on the chart to show you that. If you go to your Euro Yen chart and pull up a 30-minute chart, you'll see that this pair is very bearish. If you go to a daily chart, it'll really show you how bearish this pair is. So all I want to do is I want to sell this. I do not want to buy the Euro Yen. And what we have here is I'd like to see this pull back up to the R1 at 123.07, or 122.95 would be fine. 122.90 would be fine, and then we can sell it. And then we could take profit all the way at the support line that I put on the chart at 121.75. However, this looks like it's on the way down already, and we missed the boat to take this at the 122.90 area, and it's below this trend line. It looks like it's going to break this daily pivot point in the 55 EMA. So it looks like the trade is going to end up being, we're going to get in at 122.36, and we'll get out at 121.75. So I'm hoping really it bounces and gives us and pulls back up again, and then we can sell it. And we're looking like the London Open, or maybe an hour after the London Open, for this trade to work out. So we'll just keep a real good eye on that. And it's a great trade. I think this trade plan on the Euro Yen is a nice trade. And like I said, all I want to be doing is buying the yen, right? Okay, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Folks, this pair is really done some amazing stuff. And again, it's not because the Kiwi is strong. It's because the dollar is so weak. This is all about the dollar. And if you take a look at the daily chart, I've placed a magenta line on the top of the chart, and that's at 0.7049. Folks, that's a daily chart. That is resistance on a daily chart. If that breaks that price level, we are in a change of trend. This pair then becomes under the bullish sign, right? If it takes out that level is a very key level on a daily chart if you take a look at your daily chart. So what are we looking to do here? Well, I'm looking for the pullback because right now we're in the middle of price, in the middle of nowhere. So I'm looking for this pullback to the daily pivot point in the 55 exponential moving average at 0.7005, and then we can buy this. Or what's going to happen, it's going to come up to that resistance at 0.7049, and we'll be able to sell it. I'd rather sell into the New Zealand dollar than buy it. But this, my friends, is bullish. This chart is bullish. The daily takes out that 70.49 price area, 70.50, and we are definitely in a change of trend on the New Zealand dollar. It's going to be a very interesting day to watch the New Zealand dollar and how it reacts. Well, traders, that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. Hopefully you got something out of that. I'll give you a little bit of what's going on yesterday. Yesterday's analysis just did not work. I don't think one pair worked out yesterday on my analysis. I think every pair went against what I said. So it's a very volatile market, and you just got to be on top of it. If you enter a trade, don't leave your computer until you break even. That's the way the markets are right now. Or put very intelligent, tight stops on your trades if you're not going to be in front of your charts. All right, traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I'd like to thank you for joining us on a Tuesday. It's NFP Friday this week. Keep an eye on that. And if you would, come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Yes, traders, we are 4.5 minutes over our normal time, but we had a lot to talk about, and there's a lot going on in the markets. Please pay attention to your fundamentals today and watch your trades carefully. Traders, always remember to trade smart and not hard, and we'll see you in about 24 hours. Take care, traders. Bye-bye.